The athletic director at the time, Tony Mass, asked me if I wanted to start the cross-country program at Calvert, and I emphatically said yes. And so in the fall of 1996, the cross-country program was started at Calvert High School.
Why do we run? Is it because we're training, staying in shape, trying to get in shape? We're being chased by something, chasing something? Or is it because we find it fun? Is it because we're part of a team, part of a family? Is it because we crave the goal of success?
So to know me is to run with me. Over the last 12 years, I've run over 38,000 miles with the goal of eventually reaching 150,000. Running is my life's hobby, something that I do pretty much every single day. Running is it's a chance for me to explore, not only to explore new places, new adventures, new friendships, but also to explore and test my limits and test the limits of my endurance, and that's why it always stays interesting and is always something that that will be a part of my life.
Hey, what's up? I'm Goose. You may remember me from the original cross-country video 10 short years ago.
On a Monday afternoon, little did we know that we'd be singing this tune for Bryman in the Blazer. Bryman in the Blazer.
Obviously, I haven't aged a bit. I look slimmer than ever. I still got it. Got a little facial hair now. My eyesight, these are just because, glasses are in now. I can still see all right.
All right, we're going to start. Kimmel's going to keep laughing.
S'mores. S'mores, you know what I noticed about you today? You have the biggest jawbones I've ever seen.
This is going to be really bad.
Kimmy, you know what this song's about?
I have no idea.
I've never heard it.
I've never heard it before either.
But you probably should have.
Probably. Okay.
Oh, great. Okay.
And we're on. Who starts? Do I look at the camera?
You can look at Marissa, you can look at
Okay. Okay. So nervous.
Okay, well, I'm here with Michelle Phelps, and she won the race today. So, what was your punishment if you didn't take first today?
I was gonna die. They were gonna kill me.
Yes.
We're here with Elizabeth Bookman, 2009 captain, state qualifier.
Aping Elizabeth Bookman just got back from running at Stu's. What are your outlooks for your senior season?
Dude, if we hadn't...
I just want to go to state. Sorry. Okay, I run because it started out as I needed something to do, but then when I actually got into it, it kind of became like a way of life to me. It's like really spiritual for me. I can't really explain it. My team became my family, and running just became like my passion. I had some minor setbacks, and I wasn't able to run the times that I used to, but I still loved it.
Hey!
Jeez, he scared me.
Nice job. Nice job, everybody.
Let's see, I ran because it just made me feel good and kind of free, and I was pretty good at it. I could be having like the worst day, and you just lace up your shoes and go out for a run and feel better. You know, like that. As you can see, I'm representing the old Calvert XC jacket. I don't know how I found it, but there it is.
I've always loved running. I started when I was 9 in track, and then I started cross country, and I've always loved it. It's been a great stress reliever.
I run because I'm good at it. Gets me out of the house. Whenever I'm feeling mad or upset, I kind of force myself to go for a run. And if I'm mad, it kind of calms me down. If I'm upset, kind of clears my head a bit.
And I started behind you guys too.
I know. Nice job, dude.
2040? 2048.
How'd you feel after not running for?
I felt really good, actually.
That's good.
About that sandwich I ate.
I run because I enjoy the challenge. How far can I go? How fast can I go? It's my main way of staying in shape. It's very inexpensive. The camaraderie you get with running, there's just a big group of people all around the country that enjoy racing, and they're always cheering you on. They're always encouraging you. It's just a great activity to do, and I find that it's the one I like doing the most.
I guess the reason in the beginning was just because all my friends were doing it. I was friends with Elizabeth Bookman and Catherine Janae, and they kind of convinced me to do it. And I came on as this little chunker sophomore, and I was just running because my friends were doing it, and I didn't expect to like it at all. And then just kind of evolved into this thing that you knew if you put in the hard work and the time and the effort that you could accomplish a goal. And everybody in cross country was really accepting, so I just kind of stuck with it, and I never quit, and I still run today. I dabble. I don't do a whole lot anymore, but every now and then I'll run a 5K or a half or something, but it's rewarding.
Cross-country running is a sport in which teams and individuals run a race on open-air courses over natural terrain, such as dirt or grass.
I had pretty much no knowledge what cross-country was when I started. I just thought you ran. I didn't really know much about it. I pretty much learned it was more than meets the eye. Kind of taught me I could run more than I ever thought I could, and the team was like family, so you're all in it together.
Hi, James.
You there?
Yeah, I'm getting harassed.
Okay,
That's
we
okay.
need to go.
You're getting harassed. It's about time.
What is
that supposed to mean?
Yes! Yes! 8:30!
So excited.
We're sleeping in.
So cross country to me was it was a lot of great friends, a lot of great memories, great people, and a lot of things that we'll just never forget the rest of our lives.
If you ask me what cross country is, I guess I'd give you the exact answer of it's 3.125 miles. But a different answer would be that it's a really long race, to some, I guess, that you run in the heat, in the snow, in the rain, in the cold. It's just 3.125 miles of pure fun.
That's a dumb question. First off, cross country is just running 3.1 miles and hoping we can go to Pizza Hut or Denny's afterwards. It's a terrible, vague question. It's running a long time. You don't really want to run that much, but you got your coach, Stu, or Ski, or someone making you run a long ways harder than you actually want to go. So that's cross country.
Cross country to me is a challenge. It's a very personal challenge. For example, in football, the other team's trying to tackle you. Baseball, the pitcher's trying to strike you out. But in cross country, the only person trying to slow you down is you. It takes a lot of mind exercise to ignore the whole body trying to slow you down. And if you can find a way to ignore that, then you're doing it right.
It's a love-hate relationship is what it is, really. Running in general.
Running in general is a love-hate relationship. Like some days I love it. It's like a stress reliever and it's a challenge and I like a challenge. But there's some days where I'm just like, I would rather have broken legs right now than run. But at the end of the day, the positives usually outweigh the negatives for me.
Well, in the beginning, I hated it. It was horrible. It was really hard. But on a serious note, like, it's a race, but it also teaches you goals and how to achieve them. Like, you know, in any like race that I've had in my life that I've trained for, like any half marathon or 5K or like anything academically, like running taught me that if you put in the time and effort and you try really hard and you're consistent and you stick to your goal and what you want to achieve, like you can do it. It just takes like a lot of failure and time and effort and good days and bad days. So even though it's just a race, it taught me a lesson in life.
I guess it's just a challenge. To me, it was a reason to keep trying and try to get better.
Cross country was my favorite sport. It was like a family, and it was nice and small and close-knit, and it was always fun because you never knew what was coming. You could run into mud puddles, hills, pretty much anything. So it was always fun.
Is a painful experience. it's torturous and not fun for me.
You ready, Ren?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
I'm pumping.
Guys are already sick.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Hey guys, you guys happy to be here?
No!
Jacob, I could just hear you.
Have you ever ran this, Stucci?
No, but I know all this one right here.
Yeah, but no, this really sucks.
I bet it does.
Go ahead.
No, it was. If I had to do it again, I'd be like, don't run. Yeah. But then I'm glad I did now. I'm glad I did it once. I had a lot of fun. And I think team-wise, I had a lot of fun outside of practice.
Yeah,
with
for
cross
sure.
country, not so much the practice themselves.
We had some good times.
It was a little torturous to me at first. I was never much of a runner, but it became a family, and it was really fun. 4 years. It's 4 very different years, I feel like, but it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was a little painful, but I think with everyone together, to me, it's like a second family.
It's a different type of test, if you will, and it's kind of a mental sport more than it is physical, although it is definitely physical. And I just enjoyed, being a part of the team.
To me, cross country has always been that group of people that's such a family. I feel like no matter how many, I've been on, 4 in college, 4 in high school, 2 in junior high. That's 10 different teams, and each year it's just so tight knit, so family like, and it's just they give you the people around you to just really test yourself. It's a good sport to be your best.
Cross country is a sport. I think when you look at running, though, running is a lifestyle. So cross country is a good place to kind of develop healthy habits and good lifestyles.
To me, cross country is a family. It's more than just a hobby. It's more than just I needed to do a sport. It's a passion. It's a safe place. I agree, it is a challenge. You can't blame your team. If you have a bad race, it's all on you. It's what you put into the race is what you get out of the race. But to me, cross country is spiritual, and it's one of the best sports, if not the best sport ever made.
Cross country was probably the highlight of my high school career. It gave me a lot of confidence in myself. It built a lot of good friendships, and we had a lot of memories, and it gave me a love for running.
No, cross country was probably the best memory in high school. I think, for me, that's just how I feel, but I think a lot of memories stem from that, and most of the things I remember. So learned how to run, I got that muscle memory, and I can, I can kind of pick up and just kind of run at any time now.
There was like last week a day I went out and I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. And I started running and I was running really slow and I got really mad at myself, so I made myself run 5 miles because I was just mad that I was running slow. So I just forced myself to run longer. Like, who does that? Not
Cross-country runners.
Yeah, cross-country runners.
Ex-cross-country runners.
It takes a certain person to do it.
Yeah.
Like it or not, we're those type of people.
A 5K, known in America as 3.1 miles, 5,468 yards, 16,404 feet, 196,850 inches. These numbers are what make people run away from the idea of running cross country.
So I went out for cross country. I started when I was really young. I had to convince my parents to let me go out for little kids YMCA cross country in like 4th grade. And thank goodness that I started then, because then started volleyball tryouts, and I wanted to be a part of cross country more than I wanted to be a part of volleyball, and the schedules interfered with each other. So started young and went all the way through. It's just something that I really loved. Something that you could, there's a sport that you're continuing, you can always improve upon yourself, and the camaraderie of the team, it's there even though you're not passing a ball to each other. There's just such a team aspect.
I went out for cross country just because that's what I always did. I liked to run, and so I showed up at my first fun run in 7th grade, and I was the only junior high runner with just a bunch of high schoolers, and just had a blast. Was a little weirded out at some points, but it was fun, and then just kept with it.
I've always been running for a long time, and I started in junior high. Luckily in 8th grade I was able to run with the high school team, and then in high school I decided to go out again and just kept going with it because I enjoyed it so much.
Well, I had some cousins, like the one from across from me, like I said earlier, who kind of forced me to run because I quit volleyball. I didn't want to go out for volleyball my freshman year, and she dragged me with her to Bookie's house one fun run day.
Anyways, okay, after that minor inconvenience, let's go tape, just like we did Abby. Let's go. Are you excited?
Yeah. And she kept dragging me with her and never looked back, and 4 years later, heck, I was still running.
At first, I went out for cross country just to stay in shape for track, and that was my 7th grade year, and I went to one practice and I was like, no, this sucks. And then Juice kept mentioning that I should try distance, and even though I was against the idea, I went out for cross country fall of my freshman year, and I ended up like falling in love with it because I never knew how close it could bring people. You run the same miles, you run the same distance, you all go through the same torture, running the same courses, and you develop a bond and you get to know each other, and it's really strengthening. So I guess I went out for cross country because I needed to stay in shape, but then I ended up just doing track to stay in shape for cross.
I got talked into it. I'm pretty sure it was Kristen Bursa and maybe Chrissy Hurley that talked me into it freshman year. I think they needed more girls, and I actually wasn't planning on doing a sport or cross country at the time, but they were really nice girls, and I thought, okay, I'll do this. How bad can it be? And they sucked me in for 4 years.
The cross-country team I didn't have to try out for. They wanted me. They needed people on the team. And my brother Craig had ran it and had a great time. I thought, what the heck, might as well try it. And so Stu encouraged me a lot. I went on a lot of summer runs, and he kind of talked me into it. I just felt so welcomed on the team, and I loved it.
Well, Sydney in 7th grade was pretty convincing. I thought all she said was, all you gotta do is run 2 miles. 2 miles and you're done. And that seemed pretty easy to me, but boy, was it a little harder than I thought.
Like always quit everything that I did, and I was never like consistent with it. And then I remember I like went on vacation and I ran like 2 miles, and I was like, I think I was like talking to Catherine or Bookie, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a runner, and they told me like, come out, you should do it. So I came out like on the second day of practice, like after the first like 4 mile run. I wasn't good at all. I probably have had the worst times ever at any cross country meet in the beginning. But my mom told me, she's like, if you go out for whatever your next sport you go out for, you're not allowed to quit. Like, you have to stick with it. So luckily that was my last sport I did, because it was a good one to stick with, and it was fun, and it was a good group of people to like spend like literally every single day with after school and stuff. So
my freshman basketball coach saying that I needed to go out for track, so I decided, well, I guess I used to think in order to do track I had to jump over hurdles. So I was always nervous about this, and I was like, I don't know if I want to jump over hurdles. And they said, you don't need to jump over the hurdles. So I went out for track, and from there I can remember the distance runners on the team saying he needs to run distance. So I was like, oh yeah, why not? And yeah, so went out for track. Can remember my first mile. I think I ran about a 5:22 and ended up trying to kick down the guys that won it, and ended up losing that race. But from there I was hooked and knew that I wanted to do whatever possible to improve my time. And after the track season, Stu said, you need to go out for cross country. And after how much fun I had on the track team, I knew I wanted to as well. So went out with Joe Molesky and Craig Janae, and we kind of increased the numbers on that team, and just continued each year to try and recruit more and more people.
So my freshman year during track season, the upperclassmen were on me telling me I needed to come out for cross country, and I said, okay, well, if I break 5 minutes in the mile, I'll go ahead and run cross country. Well, sure enough, it was MALs my freshman year. I broke 5 in the mile, so I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I guess I'll run cross country this fall. But yeah, ended up working out okay.
Like, my dad was a runner in high school and stuff like that, and like through his, he's still kind of a runner. But Olivia Smith's mom actually motivated me to like go out for running, and I just kind of took her advice and went to the first Wednesday run, and then I guess the rest is history after that. And like I said, I was threatened if I didn't come back by Jameson specifically, and Kevin Perry. Those were two big creepers in my life that forced me to come back.
I'd always played basketball, baseball, and football growing up, and we've had to do quite a bit of running drills. And I knew I had endurance, but I never put it to the test. One day in August, after I had just finished football practice in junior high, I had always rode my bike next to my dad, but this time was different. I decided to ditch the bike, run with him, and even after a hard practice, I was able to run 3.5 miles. I knew I was in the wrong sport. However, for some reason, me being an idiot, I decided to go out for golf, a sport I had never played before, and it wasn't until the St. Joe's Festival in July that I ran into Craig Janae and Zach Zablewski, who told me I had a rare talent and that I needed to come out for cross country. I did, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Literally, what did?
No, originally, 8th grade year, I remember talking to one of our classmates, and we're like, oh, we're going to play soccer. We get to high school. We've never played soccer.
I was the
before.
only one, and we were pretty good.
Yeah, so I wanted to play soccer just because I wanted to do sport in the fall, but I was like, I don't want to play football. And for some reason, Sai's friend at the time was on the cross country team, Victor, and like he was over at our house all the time, and he's like, just come practice with me. I'm like, no. So somehow I went to practice, and then I came the first day, and we ran 20 minutes. Everyone's like, this is the easiest day of the week. It was Wednesday. And I'm like, that's the longest I've ever run in my life. I was dying. I was like, I do not want to come back. I remember the next couple of days going up and down the stairs, my legs were just on fire.
Oh, I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I don't know why I did not. Yeah. I don't know why I came back.
My dad kind of forced me to do it when I was younger. I didn't really like that. And so when I got to high school, I kind of made my own decision to not run for 2 years. And then before junior year, Zach Zablewski and Craig Janae kind of talked me into running for the team because they had 4 men and they needed one more, and they knew that I had run in the past. So they kind of talked me into it, and I owe them a lot. I wouldn't be probably where I'm at if I didn't go out with them and run that year, because that's where I met her, and that's how I got probably all of my Air Force scholarships.
My brother ran his senior year, which was my sophomore year, and I went to a few of his meets, and I just thought it was crazy. Like, you run around all of this? That doesn't sound fun at all. But I went to the banquet because they had something pretty goofy planned for that, and I wanted to see it. And the team, like, whenever I went to the meets, I just watched my brother, but when I was at the banquet, I got to see the entire team. And this is back when banquets were at people's houses. And these guys were so close. Like, I've never seen anything like it. They were all dog-piled on the couch together. They were picking on each other. And it wasn't like girls on one side, boys on the other. No, they were all together. And just when I saw how close they were, and Stu talked very highly of all of them, it was just something that I just wanted to be a part of. And then after that, after the banquet was over, we watched the movie together, and I watched it with them. And film editing was already a hobby of mine, so when I saw the movie, I was just like, I have to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's wait.
Mark.
Let's play it safe.
Set. Go.
Calvert coach Stuart Boehm has always said the team is a family of boys, girls, and junior high kids, a feature that most other teams don't have.
So, Coach, what do you think about your guys' varsity team?
What guys?
Aha!
What did you think of the team? Oh boy. We were pretty crazy, all of us. From my first year cross country till senior year. I've said it before, I always felt like the team was like family. We were super close, super close. Some of the best memories of high school were after practice or summer practice, we would go to the movies or hang out at, say, like Felice's house or Bookie's house. That was always a blast. Or, you know, going to your basement or something like that. That was always a ton of fun. So definitely miss all them.
Those cross-country teams were some of the best teams I've ever been around. I don't know if I've ever had as much fun on a team as I did with the cross-country teams. You know, all the bus rides and team bondings, all that stuff, hanging out, shooting baskets in the gym before practice, all those things. You know, it's just a great team culture. We had a lot of fun. Stu obviously let that fun happen and was the butt of a lot of jokes and stuff. So all the joking around, it was always a lot of fun to be around.
The team is what made cross country memorable for me. Obviously, I remember a lot of my races and accomplishments, but it was that time spent with such an amazing team, great group of people that really made the memories, and the time spent making the video always be something that I'll look back on and just remember as one of the best and most unique experiences of my life. One of the best and most unique experiences of my life.
All 4 years I ran, my teams were extremely close. We were all friends outside of practices. We had numerous bonfires, pool parties, team dinners, going to Pizza Hut all the time, Goodwill shopping, etc. And knowing I was running with some of my best friends made awful practices like endless hills out in the country or the 10-mile run from Old Fort completely enjoyable. I knew as soon as I was finished with my run that I was going to get a high five from some of my team members, and we always pushed each other to our limits. And you know, this is what led our team to improve.
Each year, the team was always very different, starting from 7th grade all the way to senior year. But there was always so much character every single year on the team, whether it was Jameson and all of his inappropriate comments, or Sydney Burlekamp falling off a swing. Like, there was always something funny happening. So that's what I think of the team, but they're always a family.
I think Stu's right that it's a family. It's kind of a crazy family, a little wild, but everyone cares about each other. They watch out for each other. They want each other to do better. They cheer each other on. It's really a great way to run the program. I like it a lot.
When I joined, I kind of felt like the new guy because there was a lot of returning runners from the previous season, and they were already super close, so I was kind of nervous. And but I fit in right away. They accepted me really quick. Everyone on the team brought this very entertaining personality, and everyone brought something different to the team, and no one was really overshadowed by anyone else. Everyone got to say their say and have their fun.
Oh, the team was crazy. They were like your crazy family that you always wanted to be around, and just always had fun and could be yourself.
Anything you have to say again, Molly?
Molly's glad to be done. She's in the middle of the road.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the road. We're going to see
Yeah.
who comes in first.
Okay. Molly, let us know. Give us a report.
We want to win. Okay.
Even though I really didn't like running, I loved being part of the cross country team. I think I told somebody this the other day that if you wanted to be part of a really good family feeling team, cross country was the one to be on. Everybody was super nice, whether that be the girls or the guys. I don't think there was ever a catty moment. Everybody got along really well and was really supportive, and I really liked being part of that. And Stu was a great coach too, and he was more of a second dad during the season than a coach. He was just always there for you and really encouraging. So that was kind of nice to be part of.
The team was always just felt like a family to me. We were always like very tight knit. You knew you were going to be accepted on the cross country team if you were having a bad day. You know, it was like good to go to practice, and like that would go away once you talked to your teammates and went on a run. Just like Calvert cross country especially is it's felt like a family to me.
I think it was different because it was the first sport I'd ever done that had not just dudes on the team. Yeah, that's true.
That's
that made it was weird at first.
Was different.
I feel like. No, our team was a lot of fun now. I think that was probably my favorite team to be a part of.
Again, like I said, being a part of the team was very much a big part of why I did cross country. It's like my family. I loved the environment and how we got to goof around and have fun, and it was not always so serious, even though sometimes it was.
I really enjoyed being part of the team, even though initially I was not very good. They kind of relied on me to even have the team, being the fifth guy my junior year. And so even though I sucked, I was still part of the team. And that motivated me to do a lot better the next year, and we ended up going a lot farther. Being part of the team was, I guess, a first for me. I never really had been part of anything like that before, so it helped me get my ass in gear. Someone else relied on me other than myself. So.
Well, the team, we weren't very good as a unit. We could have been better. We weren't. That's fine. We were we paved the way for generations following us. Not only on is it a court? Is it a field? A yard? The thing that you run on. Not only on that, but also in terms of off the field activities, including this very video, which we put more hours on that than we did on the old running course track thing. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. It was one of my best memories from high school. Built new friendships and further strengthened friendships that I had already had.
So the team for me was kind of like what you said, like it's family. Like, and I don't know if it was because like I don't even know how to explain this. Like it's a family, and not like just because we were close, but because once the seniors moved on, then like the next people like moved up to that role. So like it was kind of like so close-knit that we knew like what our job would be for like the next season. So, and then like when we moved on, like we knew that someone else would be taking over our spot, like either as like 1, 2, 3 runner or whatever, or of like being captain or like anything. So like I think that's why I felt like it was like a family, because we would just like take over kind of like you would do if someone moved on to college or something. It was like the same.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We like relied on each other.
Yeah.
Like we knew we could depend on each other.
Mm-hmm. And like there was always like someone you could go to for like an opinion on this, or like on our run, like if we had a 50-minute run, you could talk about literally every single problem you could ever think of in your life in 50 minutes or an hour or whatever.
The team my freshman year, that was my first year of running, and I felt I didn't really feel out of place, but I felt like I was just like, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. I was worried I was gonna like not be able to keep up with the group, but especially the 4 senior girls we had, they really kind of like took me under their wing and kind of like showed me how to really be independent while running and like know what my pace is. And then by sophomore year, we all got really close, and it was like we weren't just like a group of runners, we were like sisters plus Chris. It was just like one of the best times. And now, yes, they graduated, and junior year it was really hard to like find out how am I going to lead the team now that they're gone. But senior year has definitely been my favorite year so far, because I haven't been able to run the times I used to, but my team was there to support me, and that's all that matters when you have a team like this, is that they're there for you and you're there for them.
We're here with John Broadman.
Start?
Yeah.
All right.
He'd actually left Calvert for a few years. During junior high, he went to the middle school. So when he came back for high school, I was really worried about how it was going to go, that he wouldn't end up being okay with it. And then he went to cross country, and he was having a blast with all the guys and running with them and joking and laughing. And I knew it was going to be okay for a while. And it's really good. I'm glad he had such a positive experience from cross country. He made friends that lasted.
I always remember him in a Batman.
Yes,
Like,
Batman
when I
bash, just
associate-
always walking around at the meet.
and he was always Batman.
He used to pass out funny awards, and I think John's sophomore year he got the John Will Do It award, and in the description it said for food or money. And that was kind of like the best way to describe him. There was this time his freshman year they did what they called the Taco Bell challenge, where you eat like a burrito, a taco, and I don't remember what the third one was, and then you run a 5K, and the goal was not to puke. And he didn't puke.
Taco Bell challenge!
Oh yeah!
Woo! You didn't puke in, did you? Yeah.
Good job, John. And I kind of asked him after the race, like, I'm surprised you don't do that like every meet, because I knew how much he loved to eat. A lot of fun to be around, and I was glad he did it for the 3 years that he did.
My favorite memory, he did a lot of stupid stuff, but he just liked to have a good time, and like him like snorting salt at Reno's was just absolutely hysterical.
I think,
you wouldn't think he'd actually do, but he did.
And then everyone would always like, I feel like Joe was the worst about it too. Joe would be like,
Joe was an enabler.
Yeah, he was. John, you see that girl over there? You need to go up to her and say something stupid. He would do it. Dude, yeah.
Also, he was the only guy on the team.
Yeah,
Junior
he had to
year,
deal with
so I don't know
us.
how.
He had to, like, how?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Because what?
I don't even know how we dealt with this.
John always made comments, just random comments about anything. So like he just always so random. Like when he made comments about Stephen Hawking, even though he was the only boy, he always made it fun to be on the team and always had his comments about something.
I remember John was always really quiet, and I just always remember him sitting at the end of the bench when we'd all be waiting in the lobby for Stu and Juice to show up. He would just be sitting there real quiet, just staring out the doors, not saying anything. But he was a man of very few words, but he was hilarious. And Cece and I always, to ourselves, we always made jokes about how he always ran like with perfect posture with his arms just like, we always just had a good laugh at that. We're like, but it's like, man, he had perfect running posture. It was crazy.
Good job, John.
As far as team accomplishments, obviously, I've got to put the boys '09 team being league champs, and the girls 2015 league and district champs at the top. It's such a satisfying feeling when you see kids come together as a team and put together what they've been working so hard for all season, and they're rewarded for that hard work. And that's some of the best team moments that you know I've had are those team championships.
Here we go.
For the boys team, Stuart Bell.
And I think the boys 09 team, you know, you guys won like 5 or 6 invitationals that year. You were one of the best boys team I've coached, and the 2015 girls team, as far as their record, was the best I coached.
And team champion with 39, Tiffin Calvert.
Although they rival the 04 team, I think Juice and I were just talking a little bit ago, the 04 team was a very, very good team that year. And just for, you know, whatever reason, they in the early 2000s, Seneca East had a absolutely incredible girls program, and so that's what stopped us from being league champs that year. We came out of one of the toughest regionals there was. That's why we just missed going to state that year. So, you know, there's several factors that, you know, it makes it look like the 15 team was so much better than that 04 team, but I think if I put them up head to head, it'd be an extremely close race. But, you know, those are some of the best team moments I've had.
Cross country gives many challenges to achieve goals, whether it'll be getting a medal, a new PR, or continuing one season past districts.
Naturally, I think your most successful moment is just when you get a PR. You know, like, to me, that was like the best moment. It's not that I wasn't consistent, because I was actually really consistent. It's just that one race, you know, like, you get to the finish and like where the heck did that come from? Yeah. You beat your PR by like 30 seconds. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a pretty good feeling. So I don't know. That's probably my most successful moment.
Are you ready for next week?
Well, as of 25 minutes ago, I was not, but as of right now, I am.
All right.
Do it. In regards to proudest moments in racing, number one for me, winning the Midland Athletic League, which I'm sure none of you remember at this point, as I believe Calvert is now back in the Sandusky Bay League, the River Division. At any rate, at the time, I was the first person from Calvert to do that, so I was pretty excited about that.
I was sitting here with the MAL champion, Zach Leeson. Got any words for the camera?
Words for the camera. It was a good day. And this was a goal that I set way back in 2005 after finishing a little off the mark at the conference meet. And I decided that by my senior year that I would win that race. And I put in thousands of miles to try and do it. And so that's why I am, that's probably my greatest achievement for Calvert Cross Country.
We had a meet senior year, right before homecoming. It was the same day as homecoming. That was the first meet that we actually won, and we got a trophy for it. Myself, Zach, Ski, and Goose, the other Zach. None of us had dates for homecoming. I asked this girl, but she declined me. And then she ended up winning homecoming queen. Us three ended up taking the trophy we had just won that day to homecoming, and we took it to the the Chinese buffet in Findlay. We took it all over the place. We took pictures with it, and it was the dumbest thing I think I've ever done. But winning that meet meant a lot because, like I said, I think that was the first team thing we actually won.
There was a lot of individual moments that I can look back on. Making it to state, running good times. But I'd say the best moment overall was when we won MAL our senior year as a team, just because that was kind of always the goal from the start, was to win MAL overall. We did a lot of recruiting of people, and we built ourselves a good team, and ran a lot in the summer together, and that kind of all came together. Our senior year winning MAL, that was always a great feeling. Kind of funny, I was going through some of my old pictures and showed my girlfriend the picture of all of us with the trophy and stuff, and was saying what a good day that was. So definitely that was the best moment, winning the league meet.
So I think the best thing I really was a part of during cross country was that 2009 MAL team that won the MAL. the MAL was such a good conference for cross country, and so for us to be able to beat out some of those other teams that year was, I think, really a big deal for us.
Mine probably would have been my freshman and senior year, making it to regionals both years. So I thought that was pretty neat. Coming in, going to regionals, and leaving, going to regionals.
Probably my most successful moment, just the most recent that I can think of off the top of my head, was my senior year when I came in 16th at regionals to just barely make state. I was excited about that because I didn't think I was going to get it there for a hot second.
So I think it's hard to pick out a most successful moment. There's lots of moments, but it's hard to pick out which one is the best or the most successful. When you're running, obviously you're always happy and proud of yourself when you PR, when you improve upon yourself. In practices, just a time trial, you're happy when you make the time that you want on a time trial. So it's hard to pick a favorite, but one of the coolest things I would say is probably down at the state meet when you're running across or running past the stadium and the roaring of the crowd. It's insane.
Making it to regionals as a team was awesome. It was so fun to be able to get there together and just have fun, and I think we did pretty well as a team too, which was awesome. I think we got sixth.
Yeah, you guys finished sixth.
Yeah. And then making it to state my senior year was definitely a huge moment for me. I was very excited about that, and being able to run in Columbus was really cool, especially going with Jameson as well. Didn't have to be the only one, and it was fun.
So if I remember right, the 09 girls won Newaska.
We got first! We don't guys do that? Holy crap, no, it's that.
It was like the first meet of the year, which was cool. And then I think that we got third at regionals. Like, we did well. For being such a small team, we always did really well. And I wanted to, like, my PR to be under 24 minutes. Remember, I got 24:03 on the last meet of the year or something silly. There was a lot of really memorable moments throughout the 3 years that we ran, and I was always really proud of everybody, like Bookie making it to state, Molly being a boss. And even though literally I was last at every single meet, it was always just like so nice to see everybody like succeed, and like you're just like so happy for everybody else like accomplishing their goals. It's not just like all about you, it's about the team and like watching your teammates succeed and like seeing them work so hard for so long and like putting in those miles and those hours, and everybody gets like accomplishing their goal at the end of the year. Somehow everybody like manages to accomplish that, and it's just really cool to see people that you cared about like doing really well in a sport that they love. So.
Senior year, I feel like my biggest accomplishment was, well, it's more of like a team accomplishment. It was having so many wins as a team and stuff, but individually, my biggest accomplishment was finishing senior year cross country and pushing through that last meet, because even though I wasn't the fastest, it was hard.
Like, I feel like I gained so much confidence through running and cross country, especially. I was I still am kind of shy, but I was a very quiet kid, and like I didn't always believe in myself, but like every year it grew stronger for me, like internally, and like when you'd finish a hard practice and I'd like die after a lot of things, like after the races and laying on the ground.
Literally, I was gonna say like literally
on the
dying.
ground. But like once that went away, you just like feel so good. Like, hey, I did that. You do like in cross country, you do things that you never thought you could do, and that does a lot for you, like as a person, especially.
My most successful moment during cross country was the whole time. So I grew as a person, I grew as a runner, I grew as an athlete, I grew as like mentally strong, physically strong. I could name things I was successful. From 7th grade to senior year, cross country was a successful moment in my life.
I guess I could say my most successful moment was definitely getting my PR of 20:57, finally breaking 21 my sophomore year, and then making history for our cross country team with my cross country sisters and making it to regionals. But my best moment, I guess, would just be like learning how to lead the team after they left. I've never really felt like much of a strong leader, but cross country helped me to realize just how strong I am and how much I can do it if I put myself to it, and I guess that's my best moment.
Some of my favorite coaching moments were when I would see a kid progress and a kid have like that breakthrough race that it's like all of a sudden, you know, they went from, you know, low 18s to low 17s or low 23s to low 22s, or, you know, they broke that 19-minute barrier, or they broke that 17-minute barrier, whatever it was. For the girls, you know, they might break the 24-minute barrier. It was always that when someone was excited about the race they had just won or just run, that's what I got the most enjoyment out. I also got obviously a lot of enjoyment about several athletes over the years that would finish first in some of these invitationals, and at the league meet we've had league champions, and those are always fun coaching moments.
Joe, you just broke the record right here. Okay. How's it feel?
Feels good.
Feels good? Yeah.
Also, actually some of the funnest coaching moments though were bus rides home. There were some times where everybody they were done running for the day, they were relaxed, they were having fun, and sometimes some of the funniest, best moments in cross country were the bus rides home.
Here you go. Okay. You're gonna hold it down for like a second. Mathers. Oh, it's recording. Coach, why don't you give us an intro here? Yeah, intro. Right. Give us an intro to the meet. For what? To the meet. For the meet. You holding my meet? Yeah. You're on film. You'll be on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not being on YouTube. Okay, right here.
Tiffin Calvert cross country team was founded by Coach Stuart Boehm in 1996. For the past 6 seasons, Taylor Juice Gase has assisted and been the head coach of the junior high team.
I have had many coaches throughout my sports career. I have followed their instruction, learned from them, and even been a little afraid of them at times. However, my memories with Stu transcend the normal coaching experience. Stu not only led the team, I felt like he was also a part of the team. Stu challenged me to be the best runner I could be, and his own personal running accomplishments served as an inspiration for me to strive toward. I recall running with Stu years after my time at Calvert cross country, and I think that lasting friendship is a testament to what a quality coach and person he is. Thanks, Coach.
So we never had plural coaches. It was always Stu for us. Stu's a good guy. He probably doesn't have to put up with the team all the time, you know, political stuff, but he comes back, I think, for the kids, and what he teaches us is more than just about how to run and how to be a good person. So
he enjoys our shenanigans, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He's secretly like an 18-year-old on the inside. And he just keeps reliving that 18-year-old thing.
Stu's a stand-up guy. I remember not really knowing him at all before joining the team, but everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Stu's great. He's like one of us." And then I quickly saw that, and I feel like I consider Stu a friend even today. Whenever I'm back in Tiffin, I typically will see him, and we will reflect on the old cross country days and all that stuff. Stu's all right.
Oh boy, Stu. Stu was amazing. He put up with a lot with us, and he always loved goofing around with us and having fun. But at the same time, he knew how to push us and when to push us to bring out the best of us. Stu was a great guy. Stu was a great guy.
Get a view of Coach.
Running through the rain. Where's Coach?
Coach is up there in the poncho.
Wait, where's our coach? They're still looking like an idiot in his poncho.
I haven't had very many coaches in my life. I haven't done that many different sports. I've had a couple football coaches, a volleyball coach, and a different cross-country coach in college. So Stu was actually my coach for the majority of any of the sports I did, for the years, I guess. But he was by far the best. I never felt like he favored anybody over the rest of us, and I think that's something that's a lot of people struggle with in sports, is a coach favoring one person, or when you have a guys and girls team together like we did and one coach for that, he always split his time evenly, and that's something I really appreciated because I didn't have that in college, and I really missed that, and I think I would have done it more in college if I would have had a coach like Stu. But you know, he was always willing to have fun, but he could also be that adult that needed to keep us in line and give us advice and coaching. But I don't think we could have had a better coach than Stu.
Stuart, what do you think of the meet today?
You guys did very good.
Did we?
Whenever I was out running a race and I ran by Stu, he would always be pointing at like a pack or a kid saying, get this guy, get this guy. I'm like, okay. So I start sprinting until I pass the guy, and Stu's behind me shouting, no, gradually pass the guy. Don't just pass him right away. I was like, Stu, you told me to pass him, so I passed him. Stu knew, like, he learned that if he asked me to do something, I'm going to do it right away. And he took advantage of that, so he had a confidence of if he ever asked me to pass somebody, I can do it. And there'd be a lot of times, 04 New Wriggle was always our big competition that year. So, like, if there was anyone, like, the slightest close nearby or even not that close, he'd tell me to catch him, I'd catch him. And it was nice to always to come through for Coach.
Yeah, so I always loved running for Stu. He always made it fun. You know, obviously worked really hard, and we ran some really crazy workouts. But it wasn't like we just came to practice and said, okay, today we're going to run some really crappy workout, we're going to work really hard, then we're going to go home. We came in, before practice, we were having fun. And then Stu would show up at like, 3:28, and then, we'd have a couple minutes of fun, giving Stu a hard time. Then we'd go run a really crappy hard workout. And then after the workout, then we'd have some more fun. So it wasn't just the running, it was everything else.
The coaches, Dad. I love Stu. He was always so great. He just made practice a lot of fun, and he's awesome. Coaches, well, Stu, everyone loves Stu. He ran in college and was an awesome runner, and like when I was there, he would run with us sometimes, and always a good role model, and always had great advice on running, and always fun to give a hard time to. Hi.
Stu, got anything to say?
No.
Okay, that's good.
We're going to run good today.
That's good.
Was an amazing coach. He is an amazing coach. We all loved him, so we put him on t-shirt. He was so patient with us. He always he let us have fun all the time. He would joke around with us. He made cross country fun. He also pushed us to do the best, and he believed in us sometimes when we didn't believe in ourselves. And you could always count on him cheering you on during a race and during practice. And yeah, he was awesome.
Coach. Yeah, Stuart. This is Stuart as a young lad. There's good coaches and there's not so good of coaches out there, and Stuart's one of a kind. Really, he's the glue to the team. Everyone who does it, they're an important part, but Stu helps to create the environment. He creates a safe place for us to be ourselves, or created a safe place for us to be ourselves and to really grow as people. His influence, I think, in our lives, and everyone he's coached, his influence has really been outstanding, outlasting. He's pretty dear, I feel like, to everyone he's probably coached, or most everyone.
This is my favorite question. Stu is just this magnificent human. You couldn't ask for a better coach, honestly. You really couldn't. He started the program. He's like this consistent person in the program. Total and utter trust in every workout. And he always had such a good sense of humor about it. And then I remember running by Stu, and he's just so calm, good job, Felisa. Good job. You're doing great. You're gonna PR. And he's always I remember him being the second leg's your leg, girl. The third mile, you can do it. And it was just, he always knew what to say when you were dying running a your 5K or whatever your weekend meet. He was just this calming, understanding coach, because he'd been through it all. He did all of this stuff that we were doing, so you trusted him. He's a cool guy. I run into him when I go back home to Tiffin sometimes, and you always get that big Stu hug, and it just takes you back, man. You just wearing his Calvert cross country jacket. Like, he's so proud of everybody, and he's just like the best person for that job. And like, it's not even a job to him. He just like does it because he loves it, and he loves like the kids and the meets, and like he's just like this outstanding human being that can't talk enough good about Stuart Bame. Just loved him. Just love him. Love him to death.
Well, Stu, I mean, both my brother and sister had him as a coach too, so like I kind of had a preconceived notion. I mean, I just knew he was a nice guy and stuff like that, but you just kind of instantly get along with him. Like, it's almost impossible not to get along with Stu.
Yeah.
I mean, he likes to joke, so I mean, I'd like to say that he takes it he doesn't really take it seriously, just like us.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to actually doing the work, I
It's
guess
serious.
he does take it serious. Like,
It's
he
like
pushes you. He makes you like want to work.
Yeah.
Even though you know.
Yeah,
It's
so he's
just
like a good
really
mixture.
stinks.
Yeah, like it's like, it's
Yeah,
not
you gotta
so,
do it,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
not like so focused that it's like unfun, that it's just like all you're worried about is like trying to be the best you can be. Like, we had a lot of fun, but yeah, like when it came down to like workouts and stuff, like we always did, like he always made sure we were all doing what we needed to do.
He promotes fun.
Yeah.
Stu was our only coach. Like, I mean, he was like our dad of the family. I don't know. And Juice did awesome too. I mean, like we never had any changes. Like all the other teams, like they'll have like a different assistant coach or different. Like we didn't. Like we always had Stu and Juice.
The coaches are great. They really care about the runners. They want them to do better, and they want to see them improve, and they're just so excited, especially when Juice is videotaping and cheering for you. Like, that's your motivation to keep running. There are definitely times you want to give up, and then you see his camera. You're just like, oh, well, guess I gotta go. We got really lucky with our coaches. I think they do a great job.
Stu, you want to say anything?
No, I'm good.
You never wanted. What is this? 6 years now, and you never wanted to say anything.
Having Juice there and stuff like that, you know, my senior year, you know, running with Juice and then having him there like the years after, it was just really fun. Like, good dynamic to the team, and Juice would run with us too sometimes.
Yeah, I did like that Juice would run with us still.
Yeah.
It was nice getting opinions on someone who had just run, because I had never run for distance-wise competitive. Like, I have no idea what I was doing.
And obviously Juice. Seriously, the videos, I love them. Thank you for doing that for us. So we're very lucky to have you as well. And someone that loves cross country as much as you do. So.
Our coaches are pretty awesome. I mean, we always make the joke, Stu's wearing stripes because he's always wearing stripes. He's like a good father figure to the team, I'd say. And I mean, Liz, she's like a mother figure too. They're just like, and Juice is sort of like an older brother figure. He ran himself, so he knows like how to help us. Even me, I still need help with learning how to pace myself again. Overall, the coaches, they are incredible, and they really do dedicate a lot of their time to the sport and deserve a lot more credit than they get.
So I have some races and times that I am very proud of for my time at Calvert High School, but I am not certain that any one of them outshine the beginning of a tradition that has spanned a decade. My records have been broken, I'm sure my picture on the wall is faded and dusty, and no one can tell you what place I got at the 2007 state meet. But the cross-country video still exists and is reinvented each year. I take pride in the fact that my teammates and I started the Calvert cross-country video. And even though we make up only 10% of the total compilation at this point, I feel grateful Taylor has continued to involve us in the tradition.
In 2007, the very first cross-country movie was created by the team of that year. The making of the movie became a tradition for an entire decade.
So having been the director of the first movie, I can't even imagine the things we put in that first one. It was definitely weird. We enjoyed making it, I think, more than we enjoyed watching it.
This is a big one. This is a big one.
The second biggest meet in the United States of America.
It's a big one.
It's not really a big one.
This is the biggest one.
I really can't believe this lasted this long. It was myself, Ski, and Goose. Craig helped. It's kind of basically the whole boys team, and Kim.
I don't know that I helped. I might have been in it.
You were in it a lot.
That's because we all were. Let's be real.
And here's the original. This is the first. Oh shit. The original first copy right here. Boom. With all of our really bad art and the unrated edition, which has a bunch of random crap on it, and my really bad attempts at Photoshop.
That being said, the movies are pretty cool. It's not that you go back and watch them that much, but to have them there, I've watched it a couple of times.
Yeah, it's always.
And it's fun to go back to and see.
And yeah, watch ourselves. And be like, wow, we were that dumb.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's it's one of those things. If you don't capture it, it's always going to be a memory. But if you actually do spend the time to capture and kind of log it away, you'll be able to watch it in the future. And kind of will bring back probably a lot of memories.
I was ecstatic with the way it turned out. S'mores, I believe, left the last 20 minutes or so, all of the montages, the finishing state meet, was all things that he surprised us with at the end. So when Goose and Jameson and I were over at his house working on it, we would kind of each week do a little bit more editing with the footage. So we kind of knew what it looked like up until about the MAL meet. It was after the MAL meet that S'mores kind of compiled all the rest of the footage, and I know we were pretty impressed with the way he ended the video. And I mean, really the creation of it was a blast, and I just love having that memory to look back on. And it was everything we hoped it would be and more once it was completed.
Well, the first one got it right. I don't know why you guys made 9 years of sequels. The first one got it. I remember when we put it all on DVD, we stayed up. It was Black Friday. It was me, Ski, and S'mores. Possibly other people there. I think Jameson was there. I remember us pulling an all-nighter, but the whole package, the movie was phenomenal. We touched on your emotions. We got the comedy, a lot of comedy. We had all the hits. We had, the state. It was inspiring. It was funny. It made you laugh and cry. It was everything you would want out of a cross-country video for some reason that you would want.
I've always gotten a kick out of the cross-country movies. I thought, I don't know, it always has some good content. And then you look back at them, years later, and it's like, wow, we really did have a lot of fun. So, Juice has always done a good job with them. But, yeah, I always thought it was kind of a cool thing to document. Most programs don't have that, so it's really a pretty cool thing to have.
I always thought they were fun. I would go back and I remember I think my senior year I would go back and watch just the ones from my freshman, all of them, and it was just crazy seeing what stupid stuff we did, how much fun we had. Yeah. We're always so close with each other, always such a family. Literally, I feel like I keep saying family, but it really was a little tiny family.
You don't really get videos and stuff like that. You get some pictures, but you don't get videos of too many things in your life. So to have a video of pretty much at least myself all 4 years cross country is pretty fun.
I think it's something so cool to go back and be able to watch. Even now that I'm only 4 years out of high school, 10 or 20, it's gonna be such good keepsakes to have. But it's always so funny to go back and see all just the stupid shit that we used to do. It's always so funny.
I think my favorite thing about the videos is it reminds you of things you forget about during the season. Yeah. Sometimes you forget about things just because so much is going on. And it's been a while, but then when you watch the video, you're oh my gosh. And then you're I remember that, that was funny, or I remember that race, or anything like that.
They are great, Juice. You can really tell that everyone gets excited about them, and that you put a lot of time and seem to have so much fun making them. I love watching them. I enjoyed being a part of them, and getting to see friends and family and people that I know in them is really nice. It's a great tradition, and I'm glad that you've kept it up for as long as you have. It's amazing.
I was a part of the first movie in 2007. I remember sitting up with Smathers up in his room. I didn't really do much editing or anything like that. I just kind of watched it. So, but I remember him putting it together and filming it. It was kind of just was to start out was just a fun thing to kind of document our season and just the fun, crazy things we do during the year, like our Friday morning runs. We used to dress up and run around the town, film that. And then it turned into something more with you, Juice. You kept up that tradition for now 10 years. So I think the movie and cross country now go hand in hand. I mean, it's 10 years straight. It's amazing.
No, I can't believe it's been 10 years. We're getting so old. I guess in the beginning it was just kind of like fun, seeing S'mores like run around with that camera and like filming everybody, and then it just kind of evolved into like you doing it, and then the meaning kind of like you knew that like Taylor was going to be filming you running or someone was going to be watching, and then when you sit down, you have that banquet at the end of the year at someone's house and your parents leave and it's just you and the team and you're sitting around a TV just hanging out like you do like every Friday night or Saturday night that we would hang out together, and you're looking back on this season and all the time and effort that everybody put into not only this season but like that you put into it, and then you remember all these like fun little things, like these moments, and you just sit there and you just like laugh with your team, and it's just like it was a really nice way to end a season, even if it was like a really good season or it wasn't as good as you wanted it to be. You made like all those memories, and then the video that you always do like captures that.
I mean, I love the movies. Like, I still watch them. Like, my family will sit down and we'll watch it and be like, you're a goofball, basically. But like, it's good memories, because otherwise, like, we don't, like, you wouldn't think to videotape like a cross country practice or something like that, and then you look back and you're like, oh, like, I remember that cross country practice when Taylor and Corinne got in a fight.
I really like the films. I love going back and watching them and like seeing like how much we've all changed from like the start of our seasons to the end of our seasons, and just like my favorite moments are like the ones where we're just like goofing around and being stupid and all that, or like just messing with each other, because it like really shows how much of a family your team actually is, and that's just the kind of stuff that you take for granted too much, and just it's a good reminder of all the good times you had, and it's like a comfort in knowing that you can relive those if you're like ever missing it a little extra.
Like you said, like, it'll be good to look back on in the future, and we're lucky to have that because not very many people had someone always recording.
And like sometimes you didn't even know he was documenting your life
Yeah.
at that moment. So
Yeah,
like
it just
we were just being us, and then all of a sudden we look up, we're like, oh my gosh, Juice has that on tape. Like we're like, great. Like now people like that's the first thought that went through my head was like, crap, that's gonna be on the video at the end of the year. People are gonna be watching this for like years to come, and they're gonna be like, who is that? Like, why was she there? What was she doing? Like, I don't. And now people are gonna watch this and think I even know.
I've taken upon myself to continue the tradition of the films after the first one. Like I said, I was a fan of video editing, and it was something I was really looking forward to doing more than probably just as much as I did of the season. I just love filming little moments that you don't think would mean anything at the time, but then when you watch it like years later, you realize like it meant a lot to you at the time. You know, they say that a picture says 1,000 words, but a video with the right clip, the right music, all compiled together and presented in such a way could make you relive that moment in a way. And that's something that I think is really special, because not too many people can relive important moments, so I'm happy to be there to capture those moments, make something for you guys to always have to look at from years to come.
And I can't believe it's lasted 10 years. I'm impressed, and I mean, Taylor has continued to raise the bar year after year on the videos, and really make it kind of an institution at Calvert, and a tradition that I hope continues. It's really a fun and interesting part of your life that's great to have captured on video to look back on and remember all the great times you had. So appreciate Taylor for having the 10-year video, and trying to rally everyone back together to reflect on it.
Temptation, but deliver us from evil. Queen of Victory,
pray for us.
Saint Sebastian,
Pray for us.
Blazer, pray for us.
Calvert Cross Country, just seen as an activity where you run for an extended period of time, but to the members of the team, cross country was something much more.
Yeah, it was important. Like Ren said earlier, if I was given the choice now to like, would I run again? Like, I don't know, but I'm glad I did do it. I think it was good. Honestly, I think it's like it was good for like mental attitude towards like other sports, like especially like at Berg and stuff. When we were running, like kids were like, oh, it's so hard. And it's like, no, like if you want to do a hard sport, it's like, so run cross country. Like it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
You know, obviously I always had a lot of fun with cross country. We had such great people a part of the program. We were always having fun. Stu obviously is awesome. So it was always a lot of fun. But I think the best part of cross country was, I think for me it taught me how to work and work hard. Where like we can just, you know, we all know just how to push through workouts. And then I really credit that to giving me not only my base conditioning for my collegiate wrestling career, but also it just taught me how to push through some of those times where it's like, man, you just don't want to do it, but like, hey, I can look back and, you know, I used to run 10 mile. So I really credit cross country for teaching me how to dig down deep and go through some of those things that you just don't want to do. And yeah, so some of those life lessons that came out of it were invaluable.
It was not an easy sport. It was hard. Stu put us through some pretty rigorous workouts, and I would have not gotten through that if it weren't for the people on the cross-country team, because they were always encouraging you. There was always someone to push you to do better. There was always someone there to like give you a high five, cheer you on, and it was the team that made those horrible workouts a blast.
It was a sport that, like I said, I kind of got dragged into, but it was fun. I enjoyed all 4 years while I did it. It's definitely, I'm glad I did it for all 4 years, and I don't think I'd ever regret my decision.
Cross country meant the world to me. It still means a ton to me. Even 10 years later, I still talk about it and tell people about it. All the great times that we had and all the cool things we did. When I was in high school, I loved to run. I loved being after school going to practice. I loved every bit of it, and I'm really glad we got to revisit it with this 10-year anniversary movie. I'm glad you're able to keep up the movies, Juice, because it's you don't see many sports, really any sports, keeping up a movie about their season for 10 years. It's definitely something unique, and I think something that the team and the school should carry on.
Cross country was a perfect fit for me. I tried tennis, I tried golf. Those were just things that I felt like I just did, but cross country was something that I kind of lived and had a good time doing. But for me, cross country, yeah, it's something I love being around. I get to help people now I'm coaching, which is something I love to do. And I get to exercise my favorite hobby, which is video editing. So in a way, cross country is kind of everything to me. So it's been a great time being a part of it.
Cross country meant a lot to me. I know I joke and say that I really hated running, which I still do, and I need to get back running. But it really did mean a lot to me. I made really good friends. I, had a really good time at the meets and during practice. It was like a second family. I wish I would have put a little more into it. Like during the summers, I never ran and went into every season really out of shape. But I did put my heart and soul into running during the season. I think that everybody should give cross country a chance. But the people that were on our team then, and I had a really good time with them, and really enjoyed every moment I had on the cross country team. So it did mean a lot to me.
What was important to me was being on the team and being there for my teammates, because I feel like without all the positive support from everyone, that we couldn't have had the amazing season we had our senior year and so on. So I think cross country means more than just running a race. It means being a part of a family, like I said in the beginning. Like that was what I looked forward to when I was going to practice, to see all my teammates and to have fun. And that's what really made me loved the sport of cross country was being a part of such a great group of people and having another family.
You also do it because of like the friends that you make, and I know everybody says it, but it's like a little family that you like create with everybody because it's such a small sport, and the people that do it are kind of like crazy because nobody wants to run in any sport in general, and now you're joining this sport where you're going out and running like 8 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles, and run it as fast as you can, and you're just exhausted. It's a hard sport, and the people that do it have this really good quality about them, you know? They like to have fun, and like what else are you gonna do when you're out there running for like an hour? Like you're gonna try and find a way to make it interesting and have fun and like with your friends and make memories and stuff.
But no, I think it was important to me, but not so much that like I personally was like, oh, I need to do good at cross country.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to do well so our team could do well.
Yeah,
like I wanted to run well for our other teammates, especially the older ones.
I think it taught a lot of like about like team dynamics, like teamwork. Like just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean like you should do it for your teammates. That's like another.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason I really ran.
Definitely shaped me like into the person I am. Like if it wasn't for cross country, I don't like relationship wise, like with all my friends, like I don't think I would be as close to you guys if it wasn't for cross country.
Yeah, just like the camaraderie or whatever, like building stronger friendships with these people, and because cross country isn't running a long ways isn't a lot of fun, but when you can do it with your best friends, it makes it a little bit better. And I guess on a more like actual cross country centric thing, I before joining cross country I never really ran for like exercise or workout. Since then I've kind of continued doing that, and I don't do it as much lately, but there was a while where I was running a lot, and in 2014 I ran the Chicago Marathon, which I thought was strange and kind of something that I never would have predicted I would do, and I think all that is because I randomly joined the cross country team as a 17-year-old, so that was fun.
I mean, cross country means a lot to me. It was like a huge chunk of my life. We did it for so long. It really like helped shape me into the person that I am today. And it also like helped me to like learn to push through like hard times and like to know that you're strong enough. And also like it helps like create friendships that are gonna last forever.
Like cross country was just, you know, that sport that meant so much, you know. It was always, you go and you just exhaust yourself and then you just push yourself as hard as you could. But it was always something fun that, you know, we all did it with each other to make each other better. I think like without cross country, like I would have never ended up where I am right now, like at Ohio State running and like doing like meeting some of my best friends like through the sport and everything. So it's crazy.
Well, without cross country, I probably wouldn't have met Kim. I would have been.
We're married now.
Yeah, been married for a while. I probably wouldn't be in the Air Force. There's a lot to it.
Cross country was definitely very important to me. First off, you spend so much of your time there. You know, every day after school, a good chunk of your weekend is spent at meets. So it's important because you're surrounded by the people that you're doing it with. So you're really getting a camaraderie with the team, getting to know people, making friends, and you're bettering yourself by challenging yourself and continually trying to make yourself better. So it's a life lesson, I think, not only for running, because it's for anything. The more you do something, the harder you work, the better you're gonna get.
I've said this a lot, but cross country to me is like a way of life for me. It's very spiritual for me. I didn't realize how much I would end up loving it when I first started. It's taught me how to be stronger and more independent. I was really shy when I first started. As the years went by, I got more comfortable with my teammates, and it kind of like, it brought out who I am. And I'm glad I started freshman year because this sport means everything to me. And in a way, I just like look back and I'm like, this was a good decision. Like, I can't imagine myself not running or doing anything else because that's just who I am. And cross country is who I am, and that's who I was meant to be.
I think both my career in junior high, high school, and college, and my coaching career, I think the biggest thing I got out of cross country was that it instilled in me at an early age that if you want to be successful at anything, you've got to work hard. You can't just sit back and do nothing and expect to be a great athlete, just like you can't sit back and do nothing and expect to be a great doctor or a great lawyer or a great an accountant or a great garbage man, whatever you want to be. You can't just sit back and do nothing. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. And so that was instilled in me at a very young age that if you wanted to be successful, you had to work hard. That carried over obviously into college. I had a fairly successful college career. College was much tougher. You had to work twice as hard in college to be just as good. And then I think what that did is, and then it formed the building blocks of what you've got to do to be successful in life. And if you don't work hard at whatever it is you're doing every day, you're going to get left behind. And so I think that's what cross country has done that's what running in general has done for me, is it's taught me that you can't just sit back and do nothing